Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Cup of Joe with Joe and Joe podcast. I'm your host Joe, and with me, as always, is my wonderful co-host, Joe.
JUJUTSU Kaisen continues to kick ass.
This entire episode is just one big fight. It is, I think I'm going to pronounce the name correctly here, Choso, I'm sticking with Choso, versus Yuji, and oh my god, Joe, I think I have a favorite episode of JUJUTSU Kaisen of all time.
It's awesome.
It's really good.
So fucking cool.
Oh, from the moment it starts, you can tell, like, everything looks so crisp and clean, and you're just like, ooh, I'm liking it. And again, it's not like a massive leap from any of the previous stuff, but there's something, it's got an edge on it, you know? Like, it's got a little bit of something, there's something else in here. That you can like, oh, what's happening here? What's going on? And the entire thing, like, we don't even have to worry about bouncing between a bunch of different plot threads like some of the previous episodes that we were talking about, because this one it's just a title match. It's just the fight between these two people, and it's so cool. We're gonna get into all like the nitty-titty details in a second here, but oh my god, the fight choreography, the animation, the color, the speed, the music, Joe. Oh my god, the music! It's so good. I love this episode.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about last episode ending on Yuji bumping into Choso, and you're like, okay, so this is setting up for the fight. But we had talked about this probably going to be jumping around a bit. Oh no. It is all dedicated to this fight, and it is handled so well. We actually I was expecting it to be like, oh, you just boom, get right into it, like when they see each other. But no, we actually get a little bit of like a 5 minutes before that happens, and you see Yuji running throughout the streets of Shibuya, and he's like, holy crap, like, there are still all these civilians that are getting wrecked. I need to stop them, but I need to go. Gojo's number one, like, what do I do? And I think it's Inumaki is his name.
Yeah.
My man with the cursed speech shows up. Loved seeing him. Would have been cool to see him in action a little bit, but nice little cameo. And then, oh man, you knew they were leading up to it because they made it dramatic. The actual, like, when Yuji and Choso first see each other, there's a lot of build up and just cuts of like, oh, here's the lights, the terminals, the signs in the train station. And then when they meet, it's just balls to the wall, intense, awesome fight scenes. And it's not just brain melting fighting. There's strategy to it. Their conversations are great. There's a great point in this episode where Choso asks, like, did my brothers have any final words? And you can see the emotion on Yuji's face because he doesn't understand at first, and then it hits him. And Yuji's like, no, but they did cry. Oh, that I thought was perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, because to Yuji, the brothers crying shows the humanity behind the curses, the fact that they actually care for one another and they have emotion. So to him, that means a lot, and it's a kind of a comforting thing for Yuji. Obviously to Choso, it's more, he takes it more as like he's insulting his brothers, or at least that's kind of what it comes off as. I guess you could also interpret it as he understands that Yuji is relaying the information, like emotional information, to him, and he's just angry because this is the killer of his brothers. So I guess you kind of see
how I
way.
interpreted it.
Yeah,
I interpreted it as an emotional, like, damn it, like, that's obviously making him emotional, very aggravated, but at the same time, you can tell from Yuji's face, like, there's a switch where he's like, I'll do my due diligence and be honest with you, like, this is what happened.
Yeah.
Because he's respectful like that.
Yes, which is very nice of him, given the current circumstances. One of the first things I noticed, camera angles, the way they show perspective in the fight. In the beginning, when Choso starts using his blood bending technique stuff, and he does, I think the move is just called compression, where he puts the hands together, the beam of blood comes out, spikes into anything super fast, really cool. They make the decision to show you the fight from the point of view of the hands as he's like moving them around, so you have like a GoPro strapped to his wrist sort of a thing. Very cool. I like seeing stuff like that, more inventive, different use of camera angles and perspectives. It just spices up stuff that like you would normally see, and again, the quality of this fight alone, it wouldn't have been boring watching more standard camera angles. But the fact that you still get weirder and more experimental with it really goes to show Mappa cares a lot about putting their all into this series. And this episode especially, it's on point. It looks so good. I love it so much. And even, let's just take a second and talk about the environments. Because, oh my god, I don't think it was quite on the Makoto Shinkai kind of level of realism, but the train station that they were in, it almost looked too clean. I was like, this is gorgeous, the way everything is rendered here.
I loved the POV shot. It was there, it was cool, and then they moved on. And they had other angles, but it was a nice thing to throw in there, especially, again, when the weapon is like this just line of death that is just slicing things in half. It's cool kind of seeing how he controls it. The fighting arena setting, it all looks great and is very, very fitting. And very quickly, Yuji kind of realizes, like, fuck, like, I'm being outmatched. I have a chance, but I really have to be smart. And our boy Mekumara shows back up, and he's like, yo, where have you been? He's like, I've been conserving my energy, buddy. Like, this just doesn't go forever. And he has an idea. He's like, look, go try this out. Let's see what happens. And with me, Joe, studying recently, I'm like, wait a minute, blood technique? I'm like, I think I know where this is going. I shit you not, Joe. I was like, this has got to happen, right? And it made sense. He goes into the bathroom and starts just destroying all the sinks and toilets, so water is just coming out everywhere. And because of this, the blood is dissolving. It can't coagulate properly. It's such a smart move and a nice little twist, not just like oh, I'm gonna power up and now you have to power up as well to beat me. No, they're using their brains, which is really smart. I also, Joe, I want to talk about this. There's a narrator throughout this episode that even when the subtitles show up for her voice, they're like red. And I don't know who it is, but I loved hearing their perspective and getting a little bit of background about the bloodbending technique.
Yeah, I also picked up on that because normally whenever we hear narration, it's our boy, it's the man in the suit who's talking to us like he's reading the report. This didn't feel like a report. This just felt like an omniscient narrator kind of a thing. And yeah, it's someone completely different who, as far as I know, we don't know. Maybe it is and I just don't recognize the voice, but I'm not sure. Either way, though, it was an interesting touch. So I'm curious if that's actually going to be a character later on that we find out about, or if it's just a little bit of narrative spice being thrown in there. The science aspect of this, I fucking loved it. I knew you would love it too, and the fact that we have Deus Ex Mechamaru, he just comes in, he's like, all right, I got the plan, boy, let's go do it. It's only got like a 10% chance of working, which, you know, Star Wars never tell me the odds sort of bullshit. It's like, okay, that's up the stakes, this might not work, but it does. I appreciate the amount of science that they threw into this episode. I did not think for a second I was going to get thrown back into like Biology 101 class.
Yeah, they handled it really well, and I gotta say, the choreography and fight sequence outside of the bathroom, phenomenal. Close quarters, even better, and it's so fucking satisfying because they make use of the actual setting, like bathroom stalls and people flying through them.
Oh, let's cut right to that shot, because this is the point where some of the music starts ramping up. And I remember sitting in my chair and I was pulling a Yujo. I could feel my blood pressure rising. I could feel myself like vibrating in my seat. I was like, oh my god, this is so hype. I am so excited. Yuji kicks Choso through the stalls, and him breaking through the stalls, they think they sync it up to the song. So like each one of his breaking through the walls of the stalls, that's kind of funny. It just, each break is synced up with the beat, and it just works. But the song, Joe, please tell me you recognize what this song is from.
I wish I did. It has been bothering me since I've watched the episode. I'm like, this is so fucking familiar.
Okay.
Like, where is this from? I didn't go in to look at it because I had a feeling. I'm like, I want to ask Joe if he knows.
Yeah. You probably don't remember because you haven't seen season 1 in a while. This is the song that plays when Nobara and Yuji are fighting the first two brothers. Even down to when Yuji lands the Black Flash, the dun, 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 and it keeps cutting back and forth between Yuji and the enemy. Same thing happened in here, which is so smart. Number one, because thematically it links the two. This is a remixed version, so it's not the exact same. Like the version in season 1 is like the actual song performed by whoever. So it's, you know, modern with guitars, drums, like all that sort of shit. This one, it's like a, I hesitate to say like brass rendition, but it sounds like it's performed with horns. I don't know if they're synthetic or not. Doesn't really matter. So it's a remix, so you get the same emotional feeling, and then you have the same sequence of shots where it's the cut with all the beats going from Yuji's face to Choso's face, and then the cut back and forth as Yuji flings his fist into him. And you would imagine, much like how the climax in season 1 went, when he lands the black flash and you get that beautiful splash page or splash screen, I don't know what the fuck you'd call it in this. You get the beautiful shot of Nobara and Yuji as he lands the black flash. Nobara's just there looking cool as hell, and the song like reaches its zenith. It's like, oh my god. In this one, Yuji lands his fist, but you get a different sound and the song doesn't climax. And immediately, that's enough to key you in, oh, Yuji fucked up. And of course, then Choso is just like, heh, and he gives him a good old smack on the shoulder. And it looks like he takes out a chunk of his shoulder. I was like, holy shit. And then, he just like kicks him into the wall, and Yuji blacked out. And you're like, oh my god, he's gonna die.
And he talked about it. He's willing to die. He's like, look, if I can take this guy out with me and I die, that means whoever's coming after me doesn't have to worry about him. If he fucks me up and he's fine, that just means more people are going to die and I did nothing. I have to at least make this a stalemate. And yeah, he gets fucked. I loved seeing the blood-bending technique harden. Reminds me of the goddamn Titans on this guy's abs. I was like, oh, those are sick. And he was smart. He just handled it so well. This whole fight. There's a lot of damage. And now we get to see our boy Sukuna. And oh my god, when this happened, because I had a feeling, I'm like, okay, I have not mixed feelings, because they did it well, but I just want to bring this up as something that maybe could get a little annoying. Sukuna is obviously like Nine Tails for Naruto, right? It's very similar, this hidden person kind of cage, this secret power. And when Yuji's about to die, he comes back out, because he can't let him die, because then Sukuna's gone. And we get to see Sukuna. And the way we see Sukuna and his domain, it's all in red with black highlights. It looks amazing. And Sukuna doesn't actually come out and take over Yuji's body in this episode. I don't know if that's going to happen later. I was a little nervous being like, oh, we're pulling the Sukuna card and he's just going to come in, save the day. Which, it's fine. It's probably a cool fight. That would be great. Just one of those things where it can get a little repetitive of just being this ace card of just, oh, Sukuna comes out, Nine Tails comes out, you know what I mean? But they did it well, and instead, there's a twist to end this episode that I think I'm interpreting it correctly, but I really want to know more. Choso gets flashbacks of these very weird setting of him and his brothers, and Yuji, like, just hanging out, eating, and the way the narrator talks about it all and the way it's set up, it seems like Yuji's like related to him somehow.
Yeah, I'm not sure who's doing it. I don't think it's Sukuna doing this, but somehow Choso's mind is being incepted, and it seems like he's recalling. Again, I don't actually think this is something from his past. I think someone is doing this to him, kind of like Tsukishima from Fullbringer arc of Bleach, where he's now thinking, oh shit, Yuji is like a friend of ours or like another brother of ours sort of a thing. So I don't know, like I had to rewatch this ending like 3 times. It's a note that I have like here in my notebook next to me where I'm like, what the fuck is with the memory ending? I don't think we're meant to fully understand what happened based on what we have here, because there's a lot of questions. Who's doing it? Is this real or is this just fantasy? Caught in a... I'm not doing this bit. Anyway, what's going on with Choso's memories? He just walks away because he's like, oh my god, what have I done? Who are you? That sort of a thing. But it looks like Yuji's left on the brink of death in the bathroom.
Couple things I want to get your opinion on. First thing first, I'm actually going to disagree with you on the interpretation of the Choso memories. I think we're getting a little backstory on Yuji because really we don't know anything about Yuji. Like he's the main character. We get very little. Like, okay, his grandpa dies in the first episode, and you get a little hint that something is there. But we don't know much about him, and I think we're gonna get something. I think this is hinting at something. I don't know if somehow he's like related to the cursed paintings because you see all the cursed womb paintings on the table in this flashback. So I'm gonna disagree with you on that, and I'm putting my money on that we're getting some Yuji background that we maybe not know about.
Uh-huh.
Second, you kind of hinted at it a little bit, but do you feel the same way about what I said about Sukuna kind of being an ace card and how it can kind of be a little annoying sometimes?
Yeah, like that's the tropey thing where it's like it's Ichigo's hollow, Ichigo's inner hollow, it's Naruto's nine-tailed fox. It's something that I've seen so often. It can also feel very unearned because it's just like, well, if he had all this power, why not just use it? Why would Sukuna not just do this from the beginning, sort of thing? Obviously, there are rules in play that prevent him from being able to just take over Yuji's body, but like it can get to the point where it's just kind of like, well, you did all this struggle just for, in the end, as always, this massive surge of power to come out and then win the day, sort of a thing. Not saying there's too much wrong with that. There's a little bit wrong with that I don't want to delve into too much here at the moment, but it is something that's a bit tropey, a bit played out. It can feel just unearned. So I like the fact that Sukuna isn't blasting out right now and obliterating all of Yuji's enemies for him, because also I don't think Sukuna cares. The only thing he should care about is keeping Yuji, his vessel, alive so that he can stay alive, because that's all he cares about. He doesn't care about their goals. He wants to see something interesting, in his own words from season 1, where he was like, I just want to be around specifically for Fushiguro. So I don't think Sukuna would give two shits whether or not he defeats Choso so long as Yuji stays alive.
Agree with you on that. The last two things that we need to talk about. One being these two characters that show up to help Yuji at the end, and then the other being where we're going next episode. These two characters show up, and you get like a distant view of who they are, and I'm not 100% sure. For a second, I thought it was the girl that had a crush on Yuji in the first couple episodes and someone else, but I'm not 100% sure. Do you know who they are?
Was this an end credit thing?
Yeah. Did you?
I did not see it. God damn it.
Son of a bitch. Go watch right now.
Interesting. Okay. No, it's not the girl from the beginning of this season. It's the teenage girls from Gato's party.
That makes so much more sense.
Yeah, that's
I
who
guess
it
they
is.
didn't look as creepy.
Yeah, you can always I can tell because the one it's the hairdo and she has like the leg warmers and the yellow jacket. I'm pretty sure it's the two of them. So, what the fuck are they gonna do with Yuji?
Get this started. I wonder, do they have the fingers? No, they wouldn't have those, would they?
Oh.
Maybe?
They might have a few.
Oh boy.
I mean, they're also...
So that's interesting.
Yeah, they're also just curse users in their own right, so maybe they have a technique to, like, heal them up or something. I have no... Because then why would they want... do they probably want Sukuna, right? Yeah. Oh my god, Joe. I can't believe I missed this. Fuck!
I know, it's like 10 seconds, and it's like... it actually adds a lot.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And then, of course, at the end of all Jujutsu Kaisen episodes, they do, like, a weird, like, inverted quick cut of, like, the next episode, some scenes from it, as well as like a little voiceover. And it looks like we're getting some more Mei time. She kind of takes the scene in the little preview, but I'm assuming it's not going to be a whole episode dedicated. I don't even know at this point because I completely got this episode wrong. Yeah, this is all to say, this was fucking awesome.
That is a wonderful way to put it. Yes, this was absolutely the wildest ride I've had yet this season, and we've had some spectacular episodes that have come out of this not only Shibuya arc, but even like hidden inventory, premature death. Like, season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen is good. And this episode is fucking phenomenal. I love it so much. You got anything else to add?
Nope. It was cool seeing my boy Yuji in action. It was awesome.
Hell yeah. Great coloring, great lighting, great animation, great art direction, great fight choreography, amazing musical callbacks, new camera perspectives. It's really good. We like it a lot, and we hope you guys do too. So, with all that being said, everyone, we'll love you, we'll leave you, and goodbye.